Part 1. The communication room on the Velix station was filled with desperate voices. Ambassador Krelva stood at the center console, his forearms moving across different control panels. His blue scales shimmered under the emergency lighting. The station shook again as another blast hit their shields. "Send the message on all frequencies," Krelva ordered his communication officer. "Someone must hear us." The Dravik ships had been attacking for 3 weeks now. The Velix people were peaceful traders, not warriors. Their 12 defense ships were damaged and barely holding together. The Draviks wanted their colony world below. They wanted the rich minerals in the planet's crust. They did not care about the thousands of Velix families living there. Krelva watched the distress signal broadcast into space. It carried a simple message in the common galactic language. "Under attack. Need immediate help. Civilian population in danger. Please respond." Hours passed, then days. The station's shields dropped to 50%, then 40. The Velix military commander told Krelva they had maybe 2 more days before the shields failed completely. After that, the Draviks would destroy the station and attack the colony below. Krelva had stopped sleeping. He stayed in the communication room, hoping, praying to the old gods that someone would answer. The Velix had friends in the galaxy, but they were all too far away. No one could reach them in time. On the 3rd day, a response came. The voice was strange, speaking Galactic Standard with an odd accent. "This is Captain Helen Morrison of the Earth Defense Fleet. We received your distress call. We are sending ships to help you. We will arrive in 14 hours. Hold your position." Krelva felt relief wash over him, followed quickly by confusion. Earth? He had never heard of Earth. He turned to his tactical officer, Torin. "What do we know about Earth?" Torin's fingers moved quickly across his console. "Very little, Ambassador. They are new to the galactic community. They joined only 5 years ago. Their planet is in a system called Sol. They are classified as a Class 7 civilization." Class 7? Krelva's hope sank. Class 7 meant they barely had faster-than-light travel. They were newcomers to space. "What help can they possibly offer?" Torin continued reading. "There is something strange here. Their home planet is classified as Category 9 hazard. That is the highest rating possible. I have never seen that before. Most civilized species come from Category 3 or 4 worlds." Before Krelva could ask what that meant, the station shook violently. The Draviks were concentrating their fire now. They knew the Velix were weakening. "Open a channel to this Captain Morrison," Krelva said. "I must speak with her." The screen flickered and a human face appeared. Captain Morrison had dark brown skin and short black hair. Her eyes were sharp and intelligent. She wore a dark blue uniform with silver markings. Behind her, Krelva could see other humans working at various stations. Everything looked heavy and solid. "Ambassador Krelva," Morrison said, "we have read your situation report. Help is coming. We have 6 ships heading to your location right now. Captain Morrison, I am grateful for any help, but I must be honest with you. The Draviks have 40 warships, large warships. Our own fleet has been reduced to 12 ships and most are badly damaged. Unless your ships are very powerful, I fear 6 ships will not be enough." Captain Morrison's face did not change much, but Krelva saw something in her eyes. It might have been amusement. "Ambassador, I understand your concern, but I think you will find that human ships are different from what you are used to. We will see you in 14 hours. The screen went dark. Krelva stared at the empty display. What had the captain meant? How could 6 ships, from a barely space-worthy civilization, help against 40 Dravik's warships? Torin spoke quietly. "Ambassador, I am researching Category 9 hazard worlds. The classification means the planet is extremely dangerous. High gravity, violent weather, aggressive native life forms, unstable geology. Most species cannot survive on such worlds, even with protective equipment. But if humans evolved there," Krelva said slowly, "that means they adapted to survive in those conditions." "Yes," Torin agreed. "But what does that mean for us?" Krelva did not have an answer. He looked out the viewport at the stars. Somewhere out there, 6 human ships were racing toward them. Ships from a world so dangerous that the galactic community had given it the highest hazard rating. The Dravik's commander sent another message. "Velix Station, surrender now. Give us the colony and we will let you leave peacefully." Krelva had refused them before. He refused them again. The Velix colony below held 17,000 people. He would not abandon them, even if it meant the station would fall. even if it meant he would die here. The hours crawled by. The shields dropped to 30%, then 25%. The station's hull began to take damage. Small breaches appeared in the outer sections. Repair teams rushed to seal them. Krelva counted down the time. 12 hours until the humans arrived. Then 10, then 8. The shields hit 20%. The defense fleet lost another ship torn apart by Dravik's plasma cannons. 6 hours. The shields were at 15%. The station shook constantly now. The emergency alarms never stopped. 4 hours. The Draviks moved closer, sensing victory. They formed up for a final assault. They would overwhelm the remaining defenses and then destroy the station in one massive attack. 2 hours. The shields were at 10%. Krelva sent a message to the colony below, telling them to prepare evacuation ships. They would try to run. It was hopeless, but they had to try. 1 hour. The shields flickered. The Draviks began their final approach. Then Torin shouted, "Ambassador!"
New contacts.
6 ships just dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the system's edge. Krelva rushed to the sensor display. 6 ships exactly as promised, but the sensor readings made no sense. "Ambassador," Torin said, his voice filled with confusion. "These ships are enormous. The largest one is 3 kilometers long, and the hull composition is strange. Multiple layers of heavy metals, titanium, tungsten, reinforced ceramics. These ships are armored like ground fortresses." Krelva stared at the readings. Who built warships this way? Galactic standard was to use energy shields for protection, not physical armor. Armor was heavy. It slowed ships down. It was inefficient. Unless you came from a world where everything was heavy, where gravity was high, where you learned to build things tough because your environment was constantly trying to destroy you. The communication channel opened. Captain Morrison appeared again. "Ambassador Krelva, this is Captain Morrison aboard the UED's Valiant. We have arrived. My fleet includes the destroyers Raven, Phoenix, and Falcon, and the frigates Stormbreaker and Thunderchild. We are moving to engage the Dravik's fleet. I strongly suggest your ships fall back to defensive positions around the station. Captain, perhaps we should coordinate our strategy." "Ambassador?" Morrison interrupted gently. "Your ships are damaged and your crews are exhausted. Let us handle this. We will protect your station." The human ships began moving forward. The Dravik's fleet, seeing only 6 vessels, moved to attack. The Dravik's commander must have thought the same thing Krelva had thought. 6 ships could not possibly win against 40. The Dravik's opened fire first. Brilliant streams of plasma erupted from their cannons, crossing the space between the 2 fleets. Krelva watched in horror as the plasma strikes hit the human ships directly. But the humans did not use evasive maneuvers. They did not dodge. They flew straight into the attack. "Their shields are down," Torin yelled. But then his voice changed. "Wait, Ambassador, they have no shields at all. The plasma is hitting their hulls directly." Krelva could not believe what he was seeing. The human ships took hit after hit. The plasma was hot enough to melt any known ship hull, but when the barrage ended, the human ships emerged completely intact. Their hulls were scorched and blackened, but there was no damage. No breaches, no systems failing. The human ships did not even slow down. They accelerated forward, moving toward the Dravik's fleet with frightening speed. Then the humans opened fire, and Krelva understood. These were not like other species. These were predators from a death world, and they had just shown the galaxy what that meant. Part 2, the human weapons fired, and the Dravik's fleet began to die. Krelva had seen space battles before. He knew what modern warfare looked like. Ships maneuvered carefully. They used energy weapons that took time to recharge. They fought with strategy and patience. This was not that kind of battle. The humans fired solid projectiles. Chunks of metal accelerated to incredible speeds. Krelva watched the sensors track the rounds as they crossed the space between fleets. The projectiles moved so fast that the Dravik's shields could not stop them. The shields were designed to disperse energy, not stop physical objects with that much speed and mass. The first projectile hit a Dravik's cruiser in the center. It punched straight through the ship, creating a hole 3 meters wide. The cruiser's reactor destabilized. The ship exploded in a ball of white fire, but the projectiles were not the only weapons. The humans also launched missiles. Thousands of them. Small, fast missiles that moved independently. Each missile had its own brain, its own ability to think and adjust. They chased Dravik's ships through space like hunting animals chasing prey. "This is insane," Torin whispered. They are using chemical explosives, chemical reactions for weapons and propulsion. That is ancient technology. Why would they use that when they have access to fusion power? Krelva understood now. Because it works. Because they learned to use it on their world and they never stopped using it. They just made it bigger. The human destroyer Phoenix broke away from the main group. It accelerated toward 5 Dravix cruisers that had grouped together. The Dravix saw an opportunity. 5 ships against 1. They focused all their weapons on the Phoenix. Plasma cannons fired. Particle beams lanced through space. Kinetic impactors launched. Everything hit the Phoenix at once. The human ship's hull began to glow. The armor was heating up. Sections started to melt. Krelva was sure the ship would be destroyed. No ship could survive that much concentrated fire. But the Phoenix kept coming. Its armor was melting away, but underneath there was more armor. Layer after layer. The ship was built like an onion, each layer protecting the next. Then the Phoenix fired its main cannon. The weapon was mounted along the entire length of the ship. When it fired, even Krelva could see the recoil push the Phoenix backward. The round it fired was huge, a solid slug of heavy metal that weighed several tons. The projectile hit the lead Dravix cruiser and passed completely through it. Then it hit the ship behind that one, and the ship behind that. 3 ships in a line, all penetrated by a single round. Their reactors failed almost simultaneously. 3 explosions lit up the space around them. The Phoenix pulled back toward the human formation. Parts of its hull were missing. Internal structures were exposed to space, but the ship was still flying. Still fighting? How? Torin demanded. How are they still operational? That level of damage should have disabled every critical system. Redundancy, Krelva said. He was beginning to understand how humans thought. They build multiple copies of every system. If one fails, another takes over. They design their ships to keep fighting even when damaged. Captain Morrison's voice came over the open communication channel. She was broadcasting to everyone in the system, including the Dravix. Dravix Fleet, this is Captain Helen Morrison of the Earth Defense Fleet. You are attacking a civilian population. That is against galactic law. You have 30 seconds to power down your weapons and prepare to be boarded. If you continue fighting, we will continue our attack. The Dravix commander responded by ordering his ships to target the Valix station directly. If he could not defeat the humans, he would at least destroy the station and kill the Valix before he retreated. 20 Dravix ships turned toward the station and fired everything they had. A wave of plasma and missiles headed straight for Krelva and his people. The human frigates Stormbreaker and Thunderchild moved faster than Krelva thought possible. The acceleration was so extreme that he could not understand how the crews were surviving. The G-forces should have crushed them. The 2 frigates positioned themselves directly between the Dravix attack and the station. They did not try to shoot down the incoming fire. They simply took it. The plasma wave hit both frigates with enough power to vaporize a moon. The armor on both ships boiled away. The hulls glowed white-hot. Systems exploded inside the ships, but the frigates held their position. They absorbed the entire attack, protecting the station behind them. While the Dravix were focused on their attack, the human destroyers swept through the Dravix formation like knives. They moved fast and fired constantly. Every shot was precise. Every shot hit a critical system. Engines exploded. Weapons batteries were destroyed. Bridge sections were torn open. The Dravix tried to fight back, but their weapons were not designed to penetrate heavy armor. Their tactics assumed enemies would use shields. They did not know how to fight an enemy that simply absorbed damage and kept coming. The battle lasted 17 minutes from start to finish. When it ended, 36 Dravix ships were disabled or destroyed. 4 ships managed to escape into faster-than-light travel. The human fleet was battered and scorched. The frigate Thunderchild looked like it had been through a furnace. But all 6 human ships were still operational. Krelva opened a channel to Captain Morrison. The human looked tired now. There were lines around her eyes that had not been there before. Captain Morrison, Krelva said, you saved us. You saved 17,000 Valix people. I have no words to properly thank you. Morrison smiled slightly. You are welcome, Ambassador. That is what we do. But I must understand. What are you? How did 6 ships defeat 40? Your technology is not that much more advanced than ours. Your ships should not be able to survive what they just survived. Morrison leaned back in her chair. Ambassador, would you like to come aboard the Valiant? I think we need to have a longer conversation. You should understand what humans are and where we come from. 2 hours later, Krelva found himself aboard the human flagship. The interior was strange. Everything was built heavier than it needed to be. The corridors were wider. The ceilings were higher. The gravity was stronger than standard galactic norm. Krelva could feel the extra weight pressing down on him. Morrison met him in an observation room. Several other human officers were there. A man named Jake Holland, who was the tactical officer. A woman named Lisa Grant, who was second in command. A man named Carl Bishop, who was the chief engineer. Through the large window, Krelva could see repair crews working on the damaged ships. The Thunderchild was surrounded by repair drones. Large sections of its hull were completely gone. "Ambassador," Morrison began, "let me tell you about Earth." She pulled up a display showing a blue and green planet. It looked beautiful from space. Peaceful. But as Morrison began to speak, Krelva realized the truth was very different. "Earth is not a kind world," Morrison said. "Our gravity is almost twice what most species consider normal. When we first met other galactic races, we learned that we were unusually strong, just because we grew up in high gravity." Jake Holland added, "I am considered average strength for a human, but when I visited a Valix trade station last year, I could lift things that would normally require mechanical assistance. It was just normal gravity difference," Morrison continued. "Our atmosphere has high oxygen content. That makes everything extremely flammable. It also makes us able to sustain high-energy activities for long periods. We can run for hours. We can fight for hours. Other species get tired much faster. Our planet has violent weather," Lisa Grant said. "Storms that can destroy cities. Winds that can throw vehicles through the air. Temperature swings from deadly cold to deadly heat. Earthquakes, volcanoes, floods, droughts. Our planet is constantly trying to kill us." Carl Bishop spoke up. "So we learned to build things tough. Our buildings have to withstand earthquakes and storms. Our vehicles have to operate in extreme conditions. When we started building spaceships, we built them the same way. Heavy, strong, able to take damage." Morrison pulled up images of Earth's history, pictures of ancient human cities destroyed by natural disasters, pictures of humans surviving in deserts and frozen wastelands, on high mountains and deep jungles. "We are adaptable, Ambassador. We can live almost anywhere. We can eat almost anything. We heal quickly from injuries. We can lose organs and still survive. Our bodies have backup systems for backup systems. And we are persistent," Jake Holland said. "Before we had technology, we hunted by chasing animals until they collapsed from exhaustion. We would track prey for days. We would not give up. That is still how we think. When we commit to something, we see it through." Krelva listened to all of this and he felt a chill run through his body. The humans were not just strong. They were not just tough. They were survivors from a world that had tried to kill them for millions of years. And they had not just survived. They had thrived. They had conquered their world and then reached for the stars. "Why did you come to help us?" Krelva asked. "You did not know us. We are nothing to you." Morrison's expression became serious. "Ambassador, humans have a saying. Never leave anyone behind. When we heard your distress call, there was never any question about whether we would come. The only question was how fast we could get here. You needed help. We had the ability to help. For us, that was enough." Part 3. The meeting continued in the observation room aboard the Valiant. Krelva sat with the human officers, trying to process everything he had learned. Through the window, he could see the stars and the damaged human ships being repaired. "I have been reading about human history," Krelva said carefully. "Your species has fought many wars. You have fought each other for thousands of years. You have killed millions of your own kind. How can beings with such a violent past talk about protection and helping others?" The room went quiet. The human officers exchanged glances. Captain Morrison looked at Krelva for a long moment before answering. "You are right, Ambassador. Humans have a very violent history. We have done terrible things to each other. We have had wars that killed more people than live on some planets. We have committed acts of cruelty that still haunt us today." Morrison stood and walked to the window. "But we learned from our mistakes. It took a long time. It took many painful lessons. But we eventually learned that cooperation is stronger than conflict. We learned that protecting the weak is not weakness but strength. We learned that the measure of a civilization is not how it treats its strongest members, but how it treats its weakest." Lisa Grant spoke up. "I studied human history in university. There was a time when humans were divided by skin color, by where we were born, by what we believed. People were enslaved because of these things. People were killed because of these things. It was wrong, and it took us centuries to fully understand that. We still have problems, Jake Holland admitted. We are not perfect. We still argue. We still disagree, but we do not kill each other over those disagreements anymore. We learn to talk instead of fight. We learned to find common ground. Carl Bishop leaned forward. When we finally left Earth and met other species in the galaxy, we had a choice to make. We could use our strength to dominate others. We were stronger than most species we met. We could have become conquerors. But we chose not to. We chose to be protectors instead. Why? Krelva asked. Why choose the harder path? Morrison turned back from the window. Because deep down most humans believe that everyone deserves a chance to live in peace. We know what war costs. We know what violence costs. We paid that price for thousands of years. We do not want others to pay that same price if we can prevent it. But you are so good at violence, Krelva said. Your ships, your weapons, your tactics. You are natural warriors. Yes, Morrison agreed. We are good at violence. Our history made us good at it. Our world made us good at it. But being good at something does not mean we have to use it for evil. A knife can be used to hurt people or to prepare food. The same tool, different purposes. We chose to use our abilities to protect rather than to harm. Jake Holland pulled up a display showing human military organization. We train constantly, Ambassador. Every human in this fleet has spent years learning how to fight. But we also learn when not to fight. We learn about rules of engagement. We learn about proportional response. We learn about mercy. In the battle today, Morrison said, we could have destroyed every Dravik ship. We had the firepower. But we disabled most of them instead. We gave them a chance to surrender. When 4 ships ran away, we let them go. We did not chase them down and destroy them. Why not? Krelva asked. They attacked a civilian population. By galactic law, you would have been justified in destroying them all. Because killing should always be the last option, Morrison said simply. Those Dravik soldiers were following orders. Maybe some of them did not even agree with those orders. Maybe some of them were forced to serve. We do not know their stories, so we give them a chance to walk away. Lisa Grant added, we also think about the future. If we kill every enemy we meet, we create more enemies. The families of the dead will want revenge. The cycle never ends. But if we show mercy, if we show that we can be reasonable, maybe we can break that cycle. Krelva thought about this. It made sense, but it was also idealistic. Not everyone will appreciate your mercy, Captain. Some will see it as weakness. Let them, Morrison said. We know what we are. We know what we are capable of. We do not need to prove ourselves to anyone. Carl Bishop spoke again. Ambassador, can I show you something? He pulled up technical specifications for the human ships. Look at our weapon systems. We have weapons that are much more powerful than what we use today. We have missiles that can crack planets. We have kinetic weapons that can shatter moons. We have never used them, and we hope we never have to, but they exist. Why build such weapons if you never use them? Krelva asked. Deterrence, Bishop said. If people know we have these weapons, they are less likely to attack us or those we protect. The best weapon is the one you never have to fire. Morrison sat down again. Ambassador, I want to be honest with you. The galactic community is going to be scared of us now. We just demonstrated what we can do. We showed that 6 human ships can defeat 40 ships from a well-established military power. That is going to make people nervous. I know, Krelva said quietly. I have been thinking about that. The Council will have questions. They will have concerns. We expected this, Morrison said. We knew that showing our true capabilities would have consequences. But we could not stand by and let your people die just to keep our abilities secret. That is not who we are. What will you do when the Council reacts? Krelva asked. We will deal with it, Morrison said. We will answer their questions honestly. We will accept reasonable oversight. We will prove through our actions that we are not a threat to peaceful civilizations. It will take time, but we are patient. Jake Holland smiled slightly. Persistence, remember? We do not give up. Krelva looked at each of the humans in turn. They were so different from his people. They were stronger, tougher, more dangerous. But they were also kind. They had saved his people when no one else would. They had risked their lives for strangers. Captain Morrison, Krelva said, I want you to know that I will speak for humanity when I return to the Council. I will tell them what you did here. I will tell them that you are not monsters but heroes. We appreciate that, Ambassador, Morrison said. But please do not risk your political standing for us. We understand that fear is powerful. We do not expect everyone to trust us right away. Fear is powerful, Krelva agreed. But so is gratitude. So is truth. The truth is that you saved 17,000 lives today. The truth is that you asked for nothing in return. The truth is that you could have destroyed the Dravix completely. But you showed mercy instead. These truths matter. Morrison smiled. Thank you, Ambassador. That means a lot to us. A communication alert sounded. Jake Holland checked his console. Captain, we are receiving a transmission from the Galactic Council. They are requesting a report on the battle. Already? Morrison raised an eyebrow. News travels fast. The Dravix ships that escaped must have reported what happened, Lisa Grant said. The Council will want to know what is going on. Morrison stood. Ambassador, I need to make this report. Would you like to be present? I think it might help if the Council hears from both of us. Yes, Krelva said. I will stand with you. They moved to the communication center. Captain Morrison composed herself and opened the channel. The screen showed Council member Vexitar, a tall being with silver skin and large black eyes. He looked stern and worried. Captain Morrison, Vexitar said, we have received reports of a battle in the Valix system. Reports that 6 human vessels defeated a Dravix fleet of 40 ships. We need to understand what happened. Council member, Morrison said formally, I am sending you the complete battle data now. We responded to a distress call from Ambassador Krelva. The Valix station was under attack by Dravix forces. We engaged the Dravix fleet and successfully defended the station. 36 Dravix ships were disabled or destroyed. 4 escaped. All Valix civilians are safe. Vexitar was quiet for a moment, clearly reviewing the data. His expression grew more concerned. Captain Morrison, this data shows that your ships have military capabilities far beyond what we understood. Your vessels took damage that should have destroyed them. Your weapons penetrated shields that should have stopped them. The Council will have serious questions about this. I understand, Morrison said calmly. We are prepared to answer any questions the Council has. This is not just about questions, Vexitar said. The Council is concerned about galactic security. A species with your military power could threaten the entire galactic community. Krelva stepped forward. Council member Vexitar, may I speak? Vexitar looked surprised to see him. Ambassador Krelva, you survived. That is good news. I survived because of the humans, Krelva said firmly. They came when no one else would. They risked their ships and their lives to save my people. They fought with honor and showed mercy to their enemies. If you are concerned about threats to the galactic community, you should be concerned about the Dravix, who attack civilian populations, not about the humans who defend them. Vexitar's expression did not change. Your gratitude is understandable, Ambassador, but the Council must think about the bigger picture. We will be calling a meeting to discuss this matter. Both of you will be expected to attend. The transmission ended. Morrison and Krelva looked at each other. Well, Morrison said, I guess we are going to the Council chambers. Part 4. The Galactic Council chambers were enormous. The circular room could hold representatives from over 200 species. Today, almost every seat was filled. News of the human victory over the Dravix had spread quickly through the galaxy. Everyone wanted to see what would happen next. Krelva stood in the speakers area with Captain Morrison beside him. He could feel the weight of hundreds of eyes watching them. Some looked curious, some looked grateful, but many looked afraid. Council leader Thexal, an ancient being with gray skin and wise eyes, called the meeting to order. We are here to discuss the recent events in the Valix system. Ambassador Krelva, please tell us what happened. Krelva stepped forward. He had prepared his words carefully. Council members, my people were under attack. The Dravix sent 40 warships to take our colony. They did not care about the 17,000 civilians living there. They wanted our resources, and they were willing to commit genocide to get them. He paused, letting that sink in. We sent distress calls to everyone we could reach. Our allies were too far away. No one could help us in time. We thought we were going to die. Then the humans answered. Krelva pulled up the battle data on the main display. 6 human ships arrived. They engaged the Dravix fleet. They won. They saved my people. That is the simple truth. Council member Vexitar stood. Ambassador Krelva, no one questions that the humans helped you. What concerns us is how they helped you. 6 ships should not be able to defeat 40 ships. The humans clearly have military technology and capabilities far beyond what they have disclosed to the Council. Is that a crime? Krelva asked. Is it a crime to be strong? It is a concern, another council member said. This was Prelix, a Velix elder who served on the council. When one species is too powerful, it threatens the balance of the galactic community. The humans could use their power to dominate others. But they did not, Krelva said firmly. They used their power to save others. They used their power to protect the weak. Is that not what we should want? Captain Morrison stepped forward. Council members, may I speak? Thexal nodded. Please, Captain Morrison. We would like to hear from you. Morrison stood calmly, seemingly unbothered by the hundreds of aliens staring at her. Council members, I understand your concerns. You are right that human military capabilities are significant. You are right that we did not fully disclose these capabilities when we joined the galactic community. I apologize for that. We were new to galactic politics and we were not sure how our strength would be received. She pulled up images of Earth on the display. But I want you to understand where humans come from. This is Earth. It is a Category 9 hazard world. That is the highest rating your classification system has. Most of you come from Category 3 or 4 worlds. You cannot imagine what it is like to grow up on a planet that is constantly trying to kill you. The images showed Earth's violent weather. Hurricanes that could destroy cities. Earthquakes that could split the ground. Volcanoes that could block out the sun. We evolved on a world with gravity almost twice galactic standard. We evolved breathing an atmosphere with high oxygen content that makes everything burn easily. We evolved surrounded by predators and diseases and natural disasters. Morrison changed the images to show human history. We learned to be tough because we had to be. We learned to build strong things because weak things did not survive on our world. When we came to space, we brought those lessons with us. Our ships are armored heavily because on Earth we build everything to withstand extreme conditions. Our weapons are powerful because on Earth we learned that survival often depends on being able to defend yourself. Jake Holland stepped forward to join Morrison. Council members, I am Lieutenant Jake Holland, Tactical Officer. I want to explain our military philosophy. Yes, we are good at warfare. Our history forced us to be good at it. But being good at something does not mean we want to use it for evil purposes. He pulled up the battle footage. Watch this engagement carefully. We could have destroyed every Dravik ship. We had the firepower to do it. But we disabled most of them instead. We gave them chances to surrender. When 4 ships fled, we let them go. We did not pursue them. We did not hunt them down. We used the minimum force necessary to stop the attack on the Velix station. Lisa Grant, the second-in-command, spoke next. I am Commander Lisa Grant. I want to address the concern about humans dominating others. Council members, humans have been dominated before. In our history, powerful groups often oppressed weaker groups. We know what that feels like. We know the pain it causes. That is exactly why we would never do it to others. We chose to join the galactic community as partners, not as conquerors. Grant continued. We could have come in with our military might and demanded special treatment. We did not. We followed your rules. We respected your laws. We tried to fit in. The only time we revealed our true strength was when innocent people were dying and no one else could help them. Carl Bishop added, I am Chief Engineer Carl Bishop. Let me be very clear about something. The weapons we used in the battle were not even our most powerful weapons. We have weapons that could destroy planets. We have never used them. We hope we never have to use them. But they exist because we believe in deterrence. If potential enemies know we have these weapons, they are less likely to attack us or those we protect. Council member Vextar stood again. All of this sounds reasonable. But how can we trust that humans will not change their minds? How can we trust that you will not decide to use your power to dominate rather than protect? Morrison met his eyes. You cannot, not yet. Trust must be earned. We understand that. We are willing to earn your trust through our actions. But we will not apologize for being strong. We will not apologize for saving lives. And we will not pretend to be weaker than we are just to make others comfortable. An older council member named Torval spoke up. He was from a species that had been part of the galactic community for thousands of years. Captain Morrison, your words are wise. But I must ask a difficult question. Your species has only been in space for a short time, yet you have military technology that surpasses species who have been spacefaring for millennia.
How is that possible?
Morrison smiled slightly. Because we had thousands of years of practice on our own planet. We have been building weapons and armor since we first learned to use tools. We have been fighting wars since we first formed tribes. When we finally reached space, we simply applied those same principles on a larger scale. We did not have to invent new concepts. We just had to adapt old concepts to a new environment. Also, Jake Holland added, we think differently. Most species in the galaxy use energy shields for defense. You focus on deflecting damage. We focus on absorbing damage. Most species use energy weapons. We use kinetic weapons because they are simpler and harder to defend against. We do not do things the way you do things, so our tactics surprise you. Prelix, the Velix elder, stood. I have a question for Ambassador Krelva. You have spent time with the humans now. You have seen them up close. Do you believe they are a threat to the galactic community? Krelva did not hesitate. No, I do not. I believe they are exactly what they claim to be. Protectors. Defenders. Yes, they are strong. Yes, they are dangerous. But they use their strength and danger in service of others. They saved my people when no one else would. They asked for nothing in return. They did not demand payment. They did not demand political favors. They helped because it was the right thing to do. That tells me everything I need to know about their character. Krelva continued. If the humans wanted to dominate the galaxy, they would have started already. They would have used their military power to make demands. They would have conquered weaker species. They have done none of these things. Instead, they followed your rules. They tried to fit in. They only revealed their strength when lives were at stake. Thexal raised his hand for silence. I believe we have heard enough testimony. The council needs time to deliberate. Captain Morrison, Ambassador Krelva, please wait outside while we discuss this matter. Morrison and Krelva left the chamber and waited in an anteroom. Other human officers were there, including Jake Holland, Lisa Grant, and Carl Bishop. They all looked tense. How do you think it went? Jake asked, honestly. Morrison said, I have no idea. They are afraid of us. That much is clear. Whether they will let that fear control them or overcome it, I cannot say. Krelva paced back and forth. I tried to help. I tried to show them that you are not a threat. But fear is powerful. Yes, it is, Morrison agreed. But so is reason. So is evidence. We gave them both. Now we wait and see if they will listen. They waited for 2 hours. Finally, a messenger came and told them the council was ready to announce their decision. They filed back into the chamber. Every seat was still filled. The tension in the room was thick enough to touch. Thexal stood. The council has reached a decision regarding humanity and its place in the galactic community. Krelva held his breath. We acknowledge that humanity has significant military capabilities. We acknowledge that these capabilities were not fully disclosed when humanity joined our community. However, we also acknowledge that humanity used these capabilities to defend innocent civilians from an illegal attack. Thexal paused. After much discussion. Part 5. 3 months passed after the council's decision. Captain Helen Morrison stood on the bridge of the Valiant, reviewing the latest reports. The human rapid response fleet had grown to 20 ships now. They were stationed at strategic points throughout the galaxy, ready to respond to any distress calls. The communication officer, a young woman named Kelly Price, looked up from her console. Captain, we are receiving a distress call. The Taurus system is under attack by pirates. They are requesting immediate assistance. Morrison did not hesitate. Set course for the Taurus system. Maximum speed. Send a message to the destroyers Raven and Phoenix. Tell them to meet us there. Yes, Captain, Kelly said. Jake Holland, who had been promoted to commander after the Velix incident, walked over to Morrison. The Taurus system. That is on the edge of council space. Not many ships patrol out there. Which is exactly why pirates operate there, Morrison said. They know the council fleet cannot respond quickly enough. But we can. The Valiant and its escort ships jumped to faster than light travel. The journey took 4 hours. When they arrived, Morrison could see the situation was bad. A merchant convoy of 8 ships was surrounded by 15 pirate vessels. The pirates were demanding cargo and threatening to kill the crew if they did not surrender. Morrison opened a communication channel to the pirate leader. A rough-looking alien with scarred skin appeared on the screen. He looked amused. Well, what do we have here? Human ships? I heard about you. You are the ones who beat the Draviks. But there are only 3 of you and 15 of us. Maybe you should leave before you get hurt. Morrison's expression did not change. This is Captain Helen Morrison of the Earth Defense Fleet. You are attacking civilian merchant vessels. That is a crime under galactic law. Power down your weapons and prepare to be boarded. You have one chance to surrender peacefully. The pirate leader laughed. Or what? You are going to fight all 15 of us? If necessary, Morrison said calmly. The pirate leader's smile faded. He looked uncertain for a moment. Then he made his decision. Attack them. Show these humans what happens when they interfere with us. The pirate ships opened fire. Morrison had expected this. All ships engage. Use non-lethal tactics if possible. These are pirates, not soldiers. Let us give them a chance. The human ships moved with practiced precision. They had been training constantly since the Valix battle. The crew knew exactly what to do. The Valiant and its escorts targeted the pirate ship's engines and weapon systems. Precise shots disabled ship after ship without destroying them. The battle lasted less than 10 minutes. 12 pirate ships were disabled. 3 surrendered immediately when they saw how quickly their companions fell. The pirate leader's ship tried to run, but the Raven caught it and disabled its engines. Morrison contacted the merchant convoy. This is Captain Morrison. The pirates have been neutralized. You are safe now. We will escort you to the nearest council station. The merchant captain, a grateful Sorrenti trader, thanked Morrison profusely. Captain, you saved us. Those pirates would have killed us after taking our cargo. How can we repay you? No payment necessary, Morrison said. This is what we do. Just pass the word that the human rapid response fleet is here to help. If anyone needs us, we will come. Over the next few weeks, similar incidents occurred. A mining colony under attack by raiders, a passenger ship taken hostage, a border dispute turning violent. Each time, human ships responded. Each time, they resolved the situation with minimal casualties. Word spread throughout the galaxy. When there was trouble, the humans would come. They would fight if necessary, but they always tried to find peaceful solutions first. They protected the weak. They stopped criminals. They kept the peace. Not everyone appreciated this. Some species felt threatened by human presence. Some felt that humans were overstepping their authority. But more and more species began to trust them. More and more people began to see humans not as threats, but as allies. Ambassador Krelva visited Captain Morrison aboard the Valiant 6 months after the Valix incident. He brought good news. Captain Morrison, the Council has reviewed the performance of the human rapid response fleet. They are very impressed. The number of pirate attacks in Council space has dropped by 40% since your fleet began operations. The number of successful attacks has dropped by 70%. Morrison smiled. That is good to hear. My crews have been working hard. More than that, Krelva continued, the Council wants to expand the program. They want to increase the human fleet to 50 ships and give you authority to operate throughout Council space without requiring approval for each mission. That is a big responsibility, Morrison said thoughtfully. The Council trusts you now, Krelva said. You have proven yourselves through your actions. Every mission has been handled professionally. You use force only when necessary. You show mercy to enemies. You protect civilians above all else. This is exactly what the Council hoped for when they agreed to let humans serve as protectors. Jake Holland, who was present for the meeting, asked, Are there any species still concerned about human military power? Some, Krelva admitted. Fear does not disappear overnight. But it is getting better. Each successful mission helps. Each time you show restraint and wisdom, more species become comfortable with human presence. Lisa Grant joined the conversation. Ambassador, we have been thinking about the future. Right now, the rapid response fleet is entirely human, but we think it would be good to have mixed crews. Having other species serve alongside humans would help build trust and cooperation. Krelva's scales rippled with pleasure. That is an excellent idea. I will propose it to the Council. I believe many species would be honored to serve with you. We would be honored to serve with them, Morrison said. We can learn from other species and they can learn from us. Together we can be more effective. The meeting ended positively, and Krelva left feeling hopeful about the future. Humans had come a long way in a short time. They had gone from feared outsiders to trusted protectors. But Morrison knew the work was not done. There would always be new challenges. There would always be people who needed help. And there would always be some who feared human strength. That evening, Morrison gathered her senior officers for a meeting. Jake Holland, Lisa Grant, Carl Bishop, and Kelly Price were all present. "I want to talk about our mission going forward," Morrison said. "The Council is expanding our authority and our fleet. That is good. But it also means we have more responsibility. We need to make sure we continue to use our power wisely." "What concerns you, Captain?" Lisa asked. "Success," Morrison said. "Right now we are seen as heroes because we save people. But success can breed arrogance. I worry that as we become more powerful, we might start to think we know better than everyone else. We might start to impose our will instead of working with others." Carl Bishop nodded. "You are worried we might become the thing we were afraid people would think we are." "Exactly," Morrison said. "We need to guard against that. We need to stay humble. We need to remember that we are servants, not masters. We serve the galactic community. We do not rule it." Jake Holland spoke up. "We should institute regular reviews of our missions. Not just tactical reviews, but ethical reviews. We should constantly ask ourselves if we are doing the right thing and doing it the right way." "Good idea," Morrison said. "Let us set that up. And let us also establish clear rules of engagement that go beyond Council requirements. We should hold ourselves to higher standards than anyone else expects." Kelly Price, who had been quiet, finally spoke. "Captain, can I say something?" "Of course, Kelly." "I think we are going to be okay," Kelly said. "I have served with this crew for 3 years now. I have watched how you handle difficult situations. You always think about the consequences. You always consider the bigger picture. As long as we have leaders like you, I think humans will do right by the galaxy." Morrison smiled. "Thank you, Kelly, but it cannot just be about leaders. Every person in the fleet needs to embody these values. Every person needs to understand that we represent not just humanity, but the ideals we claim to believe in." "Then we will make sure they understand," Lisa said. "We will train every crew member in ethics as well as tactics. We will make it part of our culture." The meeting ended with everyone feeling determined and focused. They knew the path ahead would not be easy. There would be mistakes. There would be challenges. But they would face those challenges together. 2 years passed. The human rapid response fleet grew to 60 ships with mixed crews from over 20 species. Humans served alongside Velix, Sorrenti, Tora, and many others. They learned from each other. They became friends. They became family. Piracy in Council space dropped to its lowest level in a century. Border disputes were resolved peacefully more often. Civilian casualties from conflicts decreased dramatically. The human-led rapid response fleet was credited with saving over 100,000 lives in those 2 years. But more importantly, attitudes changed. Humans were no longer seen primarily as dangerous Deathworlders. They were seen as protectors, defenders, friends. Children in schools learned about Captain Morrison and her crew. They learned about the humans who came to help when the Velix called for aid. They learned about courage and mercy, and choosing to be better than your nature might. Part 6. 5 years after the Velix incident, the galaxy had changed in ways no one could have predicted. Admiral Helen Morrison walked through the halls of the newly established Galactic Defense Academy, a facility built to train the next generation of protectors from all species. Human and non-human cadets trained side by side, learning tactics, ethics, and the responsibilities that came with power. Morrison stopped to observe a training exercise. A mixed squad of humans, Velix, Sorrenti, and Tora, were working together to resolve a simulated hostage situation. The squad leader was a young Velix named Torin Jr., named after the tactical officer who had served with Krelva during the first encounter with humans. The exercise went well. The squad communicated effectively, used minimal force, and saved all the hostages. Morrison smiled with satisfaction. This was the future she had hoped for. Different species working together, learning from each other, protecting those who could not protect themselves. Commander Jake Holland joined her. He was older now, with some gray in his hair, but still sharp and focused. "The new cadets are doing well, Admiral. The mixed squad approach is working better than anyone expected, because it forces everyone to look beyond their own species," Morrison said. "When you have to trust someone different from yourself with your life, you stop seeing them as alien. You start seeing them as a person." Kelly Price, now a captain herself, approached with a data pad. "Admiral, we have a situation. It is not a distress call exactly, more of a diplomatic request. The Dravix Collective has asked to meet with you." Morrison raised an eyebrow. "The Dravix? The same ones we fought at Velix?" The same, Kelly confirmed. But their government has changed. They had a revolution 2 years ago. The new leadership is trying to reform their society and repair relations with the galactic community. What do they want to meet about? Jake asked. They want to apologize, Kelly said, and they want to discuss joining the Rapid Response Fleet. Morrison was silent for a moment. Then she smiled. Set up the meeting. Let us hear what they have to say. 3 days later, Morrison met with the Dravix delegation aboard the Valiant. The delegation was led by a Dravix named Kexlan, who introduced himself as the new Minister of Defense. He looked nervous. Admiral Morrison, Kexlan began, I want to start by apologizing for what my people did to the Velix. It was wrong. It was criminal. The old government that ordered that attack has been removed from power. We are trying to build a better Dravix society. I appreciate the apology, Morrison said, but apologies alone do not undo the harm. What actions are you taking to make things right? We have paid reparations to the Velix, Kexlan said. We have released all prisoners of war. We have signed non-aggression treaties with our neighbors. And we want to do more. We want to join the Rapid Response Fleet. We want to help protect others the way you protected the Velix. Jake Holland, who was present for the meeting, looked skeptical. Minister Kexlan, 5 years ago, your fleet attacked a civilian population. Now you want to join a force dedicated to protecting civilians. Why should we trust you? Kexlan did not look away. You should not yet. Trust must be earned, as you humans like to say. That is why I am not asking to join immediately. I am asking for a probationary period. Let Dravix officers serve under your command. Let them prove themselves through their actions. If after 2 years you believe we have earned a place in the fleet, then accept us fully. If not, we will understand. Morrison considered this. Why is this so important to you? Kexlan leaned forward. Because we saw what you did. We saw how you defeated our fleet but showed mercy. We saw how you built something better than just military might. We saw how other species came to trust and respect humans. We want that for the Dravix. We want to be known for protecting others, not attacking them. We want to change what it means to be Dravix. Change is not easy, Morrison said. No, Kexlan agreed. It is very hard. That is why we need help. We need examples to follow. We need mentors to guide us. You humans came from a violent past and became protectors. Maybe you can help us do the same. Morrison looked at Jake, who shrugged. It is your decision, Admiral. Morrison thought for a long moment. This was risky. Taking in former enemies could cause problems. But it could also be an opportunity. An opportunity to show that anyone could change. An opportunity to show that past mistakes did not have to define the future. Minister Kexlan, I accept your proposal. We will take Dravix officers on a probationary basis. They will serve under close supervision. They will be held to the same high standards as everyone else in the fleet. If they prove themselves worthy, they will be welcomed as full members. If they fail to meet those standards, they will be sent home. Is that acceptable? Kexlan's face showed obvious relief. More than acceptable, Admiral. Thank you. You will not regret this. I hope not, Morrison said. Because if your people betray this trust, it will make it much harder for others to earn second chances in the future. 6 months later, the first group of Dravix officers joined the Rapid Response Fleet. They were assigned to different ships, always working alongside experienced crew members. The integration was not smooth at first. Many people remembered the Velix attack and did not trust the Dravix. There were arguments. There was tension, but slowly things improved. The Dravix officers worked hard. They followed orders. They showed dedication to protecting civilians. During a rescue operation at a damaged space station, a Dravix officer named Vextal saved 3 Velix children, risking his own life to carry them through a collapsing corridor to safety. That incident changed many minds. If a Dravix could risk his life to save Velix children, then maybe they really had changed. Maybe redemption was possible. Ambassador Krelva, now elderly but still active in galactic politics, visited Morrison again. They had become close friends over the years. They met for dinner aboard the Valiant, sharing stories and memories. You know, Krelva said, when I first met you, I never imagined we would end up here. I never imagined that humans would become such an important part of the galactic community. Neither did I, Morrison admitted. We just wanted to help. Everything else grew from that simple desire. You did more than help, Krelva said. You changed how the galaxy thinks about strength and power. Before humans arrived, Most species saw military might as something to be feared or used for personal gain. You showed that power could be used for good, that strong beings could choose to protect the weak. We learned that lesson the hard way, Morrison said quietly. Humans spent thousands of years using our strength to hurt each other. We know the cost of that choice. We decided to try a different path. And look at the results, Krelva gestured broadly. The Rapid Response Fleet has saved hundreds of thousands of lives. Piracy is at its lowest level in centuries. Border conflicts are resolved peacefully more often than not. Species that used to distrust each other now work together in mixed crews. All of this started because you answered one distress call. Morrison smiled. One distress call from a brave ambassador who refused to give up on his people. We both played our parts, Krelva said. But I want to tell you something, Helen. I am old now. I will not live much longer. When I die, I will die knowing that the galaxy is a better place than it was. I will die knowing that my people are safe because you answered our call. That is a good way to leave this life. Do not talk about dying, Morrison said, though she knew Krelva was right. The Valek's lifespan was shorter than the human lifespan. You still have time. Some time, Krelva agreed. And I want to use that time well. I am establishing a foundation. It will provide scholarships for young people from poor worlds to attend the Defense Academy. I want to make sure that protecting others is not just for the wealthy or powerful. I want to give everyone a chance to serve. That is a wonderful idea, Morrison said. Let me contribute to that foundation. The humans will want to support it. They talked late into the night, two old friends remembering the journey they had taken together. From that desperate day when the Valek sent their distress call to this moment, 5 years later when the galaxy had learned to work together. 1 year later, Ambassador Krelva passed away peacefully in his sleep. The funeral was attended by thousands from dozens of species. Admiral Morrison gave the eulogy. Ambassador Krelva taught me something important, Morrison said to the assembled crowd. He taught me that courage is not about being unafraid. It is about doing what is right even when you are terrified. He was terrified when he sent that distress call. He thought he was going to die, but he did it anyway because his people needed him to try. He also taught me about trust, Morrison continued. He took a chance on humans when he had no reason to trust us. He defended us to the council when others wanted to fear us. He believed in us before we had proven ourselves. That faith helped us become better than we might have been otherwise. The galaxy has lost a great leader, Morrison concluded, but his legacy lives on. Every life saved by the Rapid Response Fleet is part of his legacy. Every young person studying at the Defense Academy is part of his legacy. Every species working together in peace is part of his legacy. Ambassador Krelva will be remembered not just for surviving a crisis, but for helping to build a better future. After the funeral,